Am I wrong for cutting contact with my friend for wanting to hook up with my daughter? My friend Sarah and her husband have a reputation for being swingers, although they've never explicitly confirmed or denied it. I met Sarah 7 years ago at my old workplace, where we became close friends. I spent many years there, and my co-workers felt like family. Even after I left, I maintained those friendships, often hanging out with my former colleagues. Recently, I hosted my daughter-in-law's baby shower at my home, inviting many friends, including Sarah and her husband. The shower was going smoothly until my 19-year-old daughter approached me, looking uneasy. She said she felt like Sarah and her husband were hitting on her. I hoped it was a misunderstanding, so I asked her why she felt that way. She explained that Sarah kept complimenting her and her boyfriend, whom I'll call Dan, 20, saying how attractive they were. Sarah even asked about their intimate lives. My daughter noted that Dan appeared visibly uncomfortable. To make matters worse, Sarah offered my daughter and Dan the chance to come over to her house after the party. My daughter awkwardly laughed it off and quickly relayed the situation to me. At that moment, Sarah's husband, whom I'll call Jay, was talking to Dan. Their conversation started about sports but quickly veered into intimacy. Jay bluntly asked Dan if he and my daughter wanted to swap partners for a bit. Dan immediately declined, prompting Jay to remark, "You're no fun," as he continued to pressure him. After that, Dan walked away, clearly uncomfortable. Not wanting to cause a scene during the baby shower, I decided to address the issue with Sarah over the phone the following morning. When I confronted her, she nonchalantly said, "I don't see what the problem is, they're both adults." That response infuriated me, but I tried my best to remain composed. I had several issues with her behavior. 1. Why would you attempt to plan a hookup at a baby shower? 2. Why would you think it's acceptable to hook up with a close friend's daughter and her partner? 3. Sarah and her husband have known my daughter since she was 12. When I expressed my concerns, Sarah refused to apologize, accusing me of intimacy shaming. Frustrated, I said some hurtful things during the conversation, even threatening to confront her physically if she came near my daughter or her boyfriend again. I ultimately told her to never speak to me again and blocked her number. Some mutual friends later chimed in, suggesting I had overreacted because Sarah wasn't forcing my daughter into anything. They argued that she was merely asking if my daughter and her boyfriend were interested. I couldn't help but wonder how those friends would feel if the roles were reversed. Then, I received a text from an unknown number. It turned out to be from another friend, expressing sympathy for my daughter feeling uncomfortable and asserting that Sarah and her husband wouldn't intentionally do anything inappropriate. This friend wanted to resolve the issue, saying that the ongoing tension was stressing out our friend group. I replied, "I don't know what you heard, but Sarah and her husband propositioned my daughter and her boyfriend for a swinger date at the baby shower. It disgusts me that a friend I trusted around my child since she was 12 would consider my young adult daughter fair game and make such an advance at a family function. It was clear that when my daughter and Dan turned them down, they pressured them to change their minds. I made the decision to remove Sarah and her husband from my life due to their blatant lack of boundaries and for their inappropriate behavior towards my daughter. This isn't about their lifestyle, it's about their poor judgment. I understand this may be shocking for our friend group, and while I acknowledge Sarah has shown kindness in the past, I cannot overlook her behavior. She seems unconcerned about crossing my boundaries and has been discussing the matter among our friends as if I'm shaming her for her intimacy. I don't care about her lifestyle, I care about my daughter's well-being. If that's something you can't understand, maybe we need to re-evaluate our friendship." In response, Sarah texted, "I thought we were over all this petty drama, but clearly not. How dare you slander my husband and me to our friends? We're not some sort of sick kid lovers. Your daughter is an adult, and you can't control her sex life. Your excuses are ridiculous. You know my husband and I have disabilities, we are both autistic, which makes it hard for us to read social cues. I will lawyer up because I have a friend who is a lawyer, and I will sue you if you keep accusing my husband and me of being kid lovers. I will apologize to your daughter and her boyfriend for making them uncomfortable, but never to you. You get nothing from me." I responded, "You and your husband are acting like kid lovers. You've known my daughter since she was 12, and then you pull this stunt. Sue me."